Okay, so thanks for coming here today. I have some reaction to obviously the press conference earlier this afternoon, and I basically have two things that I want to say. First is that I am troubled, as I think most people are who watch that press conference, by a lot of the answers or non-answers that we were given. I think we still have a lot of unanswered questions here as to what happened, why it happened, and where this legislation came from. And the public deserves to have more answers. But secondly, and this is important, I was not elected to participate in a process like this. I am not going to engage in a negotiation that is happening behind closed doors, that's outside of the normal process, that is part of some matter of urgency at the last hour, at the last month, at the last moment, to radically transform how county government operates. That's not what I was elected to do. That might be the old way of doing things, and I think that is the old way, and that's the way that voters spoke loud and clear and said, enough, we're not going to operate this way. What I am willing to do, and I think what we will do, is that when I'm county executive, I will be more than happy to sit down with people from both parties in a bipartisan way, and we will have a real conversation about how to reform county government. That's what we were elected to do, and that's the normal process by which we will do this. We will bring people together, we will do it in the light of day, we will do it through the normal committee process, and we will have opinions and thoughts and ideas from all parties involved in a bipartisan way and put forth a reform measure that I think the public can be confident in, and they can be confident in the process by which it was reached. We're not going to start with a proposal that was apparently released and drafted at Republican headquarters through a matter of urgency on the last hour of the last day at the last meeting. That's not the way government is supposed to work. We're supposed to do this through a normal process, through a legislative process, and that's what we'll do when I'm county executive.
So you will not meet with them before you become county executive?
I am not going to meet to negotiate in this manner over this particular legislation. This is not the way it's supposed to work. I was not elected to go and meet behind closed doors through a matter of urgency at the very last minute on the last month when I'm not even the county executive yet, to completely transform the way county government operates. That's not what this is. That's not the way this is supposed to work. I've never seen or heard anything like this before in my life. That's not what the public wants, and we can do it a different way, and they deserve something better than this.
I'm sure you heard the line of questioning. It was difficult to get straight answers as to whether they will table this or not if they don't have that conversation with you. Do you expect them to table it?
Of course, this should be tabled. This is not, I think, and I think that line of questioning, it was pretty clear. This should be tabled. This was done for political purposes. And like I said, I'm not the county executive right now. I'm not sure who I'm negotiating with and what authority I have to do that. Because I couldn't sign anything we negotiated now anyways. That's just not the way it works. That's not how bills become a law. So we will do this in January. We'll follow the normal process, and I will be more than happy to meet with them and meet with everybody from all different parties. That's what I've been saying throughout this whole campaign. This whole campaign was about bringing people together, new ideas and new energy and new leadership, and finding a new path to do things the right way. This was clearly not done the right way, and I'm not going to engage in that old process and that old way of doing things. So I would expect that they table this, and we will reconvene in January with a real public conversation about reforming this government. We're going to do it in the light of day, and we're going to follow the normal legislative process to do it.
What do you think this says to voters? I mean, it's back and forth before January. What do you think what's your message to voters?
Well, this is what's played out over the last couple of days is what voters rejected last week. They rejected the old way of doing things. They rejected the politics of the way this county has been run for the last 20 or 30 years. What we're looking for is something new. We're looking to do things the right way. We're looking to bring people together and do things not because it's politically expedient, but do things because it's the right thing to do. And that was something that was missing in that whole press conference. There was never a conversation about we should introduce legislation because it's the right thing to do. We were introducing the legislation because there was a change in power or a change in party in the county executive's office. That's not why we do things. We do things because it's the right thing to do for the government, and it's how we're going to help people.
They did say, yes, you won as a Democrat, but they also stayed in the majority as a Republican. So the old way of doing things hasn't completely escaped Monroe County.
Well, it's true. They are still in the majority, and we will work together. I have every expectation of doing that. And there can be a reset button, and we can start over in January. I think that's what we were elected to do, and I am happy to work with them. That's what I was elected to do as the leader of this county, and that's why I said we will go through a process. I would like to see reforms in this government as well. That's what I ran on. So we are going to reform this government, and we are going to do, we could have broad reform measures, but we need to do it in a bipartisan way, and we're not going to do it under the cover of darkness, under a process that nobody understands, with an individual who's not even the county executive yet. Are we supposed to negotiate something now and the current county executive is supposed to sign it? None of this even makes sense. I've never seen anything like this.
Do you have a list of appointees they're worried about?
No, I don't have a list myself, so I don't know what they're thinking or what they're hoping for, but or expecting. But I have said I have laid out what I want here. This is going to be an open process, and I was elected to do things a new way, and we're going to do it the right way. And this was not the new or right way. They tried to do things the old way, and I think that's why the public got so mad and was offended by this, and they were rightfully so offended by this, because this is the old way of doing things that they just literally voted a week ago to change and to stop.
Anything else you want to say?
No, I think we're good.
Cool. Thanks for making time for us.
Thanks, everybody. I appreciate it. Yep. All right.
Thanks, Sean.